Hey there, welcome to C&T Collectibles. I am C. Hope this week is treating you very, very well thus far. This is 3 and Out, where we take a look at the top 3 risers and 1 punt in the world of football cards over on Card Ladder, and then we'll get into a few players of the week, some players that had actual good weeks on the gridiron, and see what, if anything, we should be doing with those cards. We'll get stopped. We're just gonna stop here and call it a day. So thanks for watching, and like, subscribe, and we'll see you later. So we get started here with Emmett Smith in the 1990 Topps traded PSA 9 up 105% here. Bottom of the range, some accumulation, and a rip out of the range here. So area where selling has taken place in the past year. See if it can't come back just a little bit here. Call that 90, 50, 40. I don't know. What was that, 40, 50 bucks or something like that? And take another shot at that one here, but no need to chase up in that area. Number 2 riser for the week, Jimmy G. So not a lot of volume on this one here. This is the Raw and the Downtown 2018 Optic. Yeah, I don't know why. someone just decided, what the heck, let's just go for it here. So you don't have to follow their lead. Also, 125% 1 week. You know, the biggest risers are ones you usually keep them in the back of your mind, but no reason to chase them here. If it comes back down substantially, it would not surprise me. And the number 1 riser for the week, 2011 Topps Chrome AJ Green in a PSE 10 up 172%, falling to at least 1-year lows here, and then getting a big rip up into an area where there's been some buying. So this could be some sort of a one-off. We'll see how that plays out here. But this is an area where there has been buying. You may not get a huge pullback like I would expect out of some of the other ones. But yeah, so if this is a card you want, this is probably close to the price. All right, our punt for the week, Justin Herbert in the 2020 Mosaic. So breaking out of the range here, we had this nice descending wedge, which is kind of bullish, but breaking out of that range and coming right back in. So again, one person thought this was the price, where a lot of people kind of think this is the price recently. In the past, we've had a lot of people think this is the price, so we'll see what happens on this one. But it is in an area where you're getting to the point where any purchases in this area have been off of spike low, so you'd be lucky to get something in here perhaps. But for now, this is just kind of where you're at here. So down 52%, you could see some buying in that area. All right, let's move on to some players that had great weeks on the actual gridiron. Start off with Kyler Murray, who had let's cover up that name right there. Who had a nice game against the Minnesota Vikings. Threw for 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, ran in another touchdown, and if it wasn't for the Vikings not being able to find a kicker to make short field goals to win games, would have taken the L. But nonetheless, he got the W here. So downwards compression, a lot of sideways action here. Now breaking out, he's the number 1 quarterback in the leagues thus far, at least for fantasy purposes. So starting to see some new highs, and so maybe you get a little bit of a pullback here. But there is, as long as you can stay above this, there is significant upside to that card, that Donruss Optic base in a PSA 10. All right, Lamar Jackson threw for 239 yards, touchdown. Had a couple of picks, but he had a great day as a running back, 107 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Chiefs, and so he had a pop off of that one here. Top of the range here, so you could see this come back just a little bit here. I like L-Jack. He's got one more game next week against the Detroit Lions. We figured those first 3 games he could really be putting up some numbers here, so he's got one more left here. So we'll see if he can sneak out of the range. My suspicion is he comes back just a touch into this area right here, and that may be your buy spot here after a decent pop on the week here. Let's look at a couple of running backs here. Derrick Henry, and the thing I noticed on this one is his PSA 10 continues to make some new lows here, while the PSA 9 seems to be firming up just a bit. So I think between the two, the relative performance on the PSA 9 looks a little bit better. If you don't want to, take a huge risk on the PSA 10, the 9 looks like it could be somewhat interesting. It has shown some relative outperformance over the last 6 months, although both of them are down. But, if he has the season like we expect him to have the season, then this is an area for at least the 9, the 10. Again, as it continues to drift lower, this could represent a great opportunity, but when you keep making new lows, you're trying to catch a falling knife, as we like to call it here. So I do like Derrick Henry, but I think I would personally probably look at the 9 as your risk is more established in that area. All right, A-Aron Jones. Looked at him last week, and he'd been dropping to an area where it's like, all right, accumulation has happened in this one. It's been real quick. I don't know if you're quick enough to get in there, if anybody's quick enough to get in there, but having a nice pop, getting back into this consolidation zone. So anything down in here is kind of your quick buy, and we pointed that out. But now you're into this range where you're at the lower end of the range, and if he's able to continue to have some good weeks here, last week he had 67 yards and a touchdown, but had a few receiving yards. But it was a pretty for fantasy purposes, pretty nice. So so bottom of the ranges or whatever, and I think that with the Packers, especially in the Central where they don't have kickers apparently, could be a decent, still a decent spot for him. So all right, Daryl Patterson, former Viking. See, everyone always looks better in purple. So he had 7 carries for 11 yards and a touchdown, but he was in the passing game quite a bit. Another touchdown on that one, 5 receptions for 58 yards, and so he's going to split some carries with Davis, it looks like, but he's at least going to be a bigger part of the passing game, as he can kind of do it all just a little bit here. And so you can see that the star stock, not a lot of information on card ladder here, but the star stock Bs are ticking up. Not a lot of action on the ace, so who knows where that next one comes in. But for speculation purposes, that's you're looking at enough baseball, that's kind of the price. And so if he does get a bigger share here, I mean, this could be those chromes, if you're a somewhat relevant player, it's a dollar card, and so you're well under that one for the time being. And so again, if you can carve out a consistent roll, you could see a decent move out of that one. Cooper Kupp, second week in a row, he's led receivers here, so 162 yards, couple of touchdowns. And we liked him at the bottom of the range, and now he's at the top of the range here. So perhaps he cools off next week. We'll see what happens. But just technically, you're at the top of the range. Your risk reward is unfavorable. You're kind of near those all-time highs here. So this is one purchase. So we'll see how that plays out. My sneaking suspicion is, it comes back a bit here. So again, like it down towards here, up here. Not as excited, but I think he, again, still looking for him to have a terrific year. He's doing it so far, but an area where there's been more buying is decently lower from where we're currently at. Tyler Lockett, not a lot of information on this one here, but his card is I think it's fairly let's see, $230. So anyways, 178 yards and a touchdown. So as Russell Wilson goes and continues to heat up, which he does at some point every season, Tyler Lockett should be a beneficiary here. So sorry, no risk reward or any trend on that one here. It's just a very thinly traded card, but at least one to keep a player to keep your eye on if you haven't already, which you probably are. Mike Evans. All right, we looked at him last year, and his refractor had really spiked. Now you're seeing the ball in the right hand, chrome version, get a bit of a lift here. So you had this sideways consolidation, and it is outside the range, which is a good sign. So again, an area where there's been some selling in the past here, so see if it doesn't pull back just a little bit. But 75 yards and a pair of touchdowns, that's kind of what he does. He catches a bunch of touchdowns. So but yeah, he's if you draw the lines a little different way, you can see that's just in a consolidation. He's more towards the top of that range, but a little bit of a pullback. Probably a buy because he does have a pretty well established floor at that $40 area here. So $75 is the current price. So it starts to leak down $40-$50. That's maybe where you look. And to follow up on his refractor from last week, sneaking outside the range, so if you can't hold here, you're coming back into the range. Look for that one to decline, especially after that big move, 150, 160% or something crazy. So now he did come back, and now you consider that kind of the top of the range. Again, in the past, this has been selling, and so you're seeing it again. So if you are looking for that card, look for it to come back down a little bit more in an area where you've seen more healthy buying. Call that $10 or something like that. So currently it's at $19.99. So maybe it was a buy it now or something like that. But $10-15 or whatever if you're interested in that card, probably a better spot here. All right, some receivers. Another receiver, Henry Ruggs. 5 receptions, 113 yards, and a touchdown for 17 fantasy points. All right, kind of in the middle of the range. Your downside is $85. Your upside is $140. So your rate now sitting at 107. So closer to the bottom than the top. But it's getting a little thin here, so just be careful. But if you are looking for this card, that $85 area has been where buying has picked up. But if you just kind of set an alert on your card ladder or whatever, then maybe that's where you can get it. All right, and we'll wrap it up here with Carson Wentz. Seriously, all right, man. All right, I'm not gonna fight it anymore. We're just gonna roll with it. Trigger wants to play games, then we'll just do that. So this chart, had a few tags of this longer term trend line, but now it is broken. So let's see here. Carson Wentz's chart is so broke that when he goes to KFC, he has to lick other people's fingers. So okay, all right. Trigger, I see where you're coming from. This is kind of fun here. So let's see when we another good one here. Oh yeah, Carson Wentz is so broke that I saw him running after our garbage truck with a shopping list. That's a pretty good one here. So let's see. Carson Wentz is so broke that Nigerian scammers wire him money. That's not bad. And last one here, Carson Wentz is so broke that he has to wear his McDonald's uniform to church. So, all right, hey, not bad. All right, buddy, I see where you're coming from. I appreciate that, and good deal. So Carson Wentz again, long-term trend is broken. Getting into an area where perhaps there's buying, but who knows if that happens with his injury? I think that's to be more clarity, and it is a no-go for now. That's what I got for you. I hope everybody has a great rest of the week, and we'll talk to you later. Bye now.